Hi, so today I'm talking about the Aries man, and this is about how to get with an Aries man or be in a relationship with one. So this is the first sun sign of the 12 in the zodiac, and this is for a person born between March 21st and April 19th. So this guy is probably the guy that's macho and manly on the outside, you know, just like your man's guy, your man's man, or your guy's guy. Your guy's man? But on the inside, this guy is a total softie. This guy is probably like your knight in shining armor type. You know, he'll try to protect you even if you really don't want protecting. But, I mean, it can be good or it can be bad. So maybe if you want protecting or you think that that's cute at first, that's nice. But sometimes it goes a little bit over the top with an Aries man. So this guy, he's fun, he's adventurous, he loves living life, he loves taking chances, you know, he's always pursuing something exciting or something that he's interested in. You know, he's never just, for the most part, sitting around being boring or not really having an interest in experiencing life. So if you're into that and you like that, then it's definitely the guy for you, because it can be a very exciting experience to be with an Aries man. So if you meet an Aries man, I just have to give you a number one tip, okay? Let him chase you. Do not pursue this man. Do not chase him, okay? Because he loves the chase. He loves to pursue women. And if you try to go for him, he's going to be turned off, you know, more times than not. So he loves chasing his ideal image of a woman. So just, if you can, and you want him, and you're trying to get him, be a little bit mysterious, because that's what he likes. He doesn't really like the whole open book, let me tell you all about myself right from the start. He likes the idea of falling in love with this perfect goddess idea of a woman that really doesn't exist in reality, and he lives in a kind of dream world. But if you can kind of keep his dream world alive by being a bit mysterious at the beginning, and, you know, kind of like shutting him down, but keeping him coming back, then that's probably the best way to get this man to stick around and get over the idea that not every woman is his ideal, you know, non-existent woman. If you can, be tough, let him come to you, be mysterious, and eventually if you do end up in a relationship, you know, then that's the time for opening up, because this man is totally vulnerable in relationships, and that's when he really lets his guard down. But until that point, it's just not him to be, you know, wanting to hear everything about you and letting this fantasy that he has about you be broken. That'll come later, but let there be a little time before that happens. Realize when you're first getting to know this guy that he can flip between being like the most generous, protective, sweet guy, and, you know, like nobody else can beat that for him, and then all of a sudden he flips and it's like he is completely insensitive to your feelings. So that's this kind of guy. He's constantly changing. And this is one of the signs that is a changing sign. So this is something to take into consideration. He can kind of be insensitive to your feelings sometimes, and, you know, you kind of have to try not to take that too hard, but I know that's difficult. So just be aware that this guy can be, you know, great one day and not so great the next. So if you want to be with this guy, other than letting him court you, then you have to kind of be a little bit from two different worlds. And I know this kind of doesn't make sense, but this is the kind of guy that likes a porn star and the girl next door mixed into one. And I mean, you're not always going to get that, but have a little bit of yourself here and there. You know, offer two things that kind of contradict each other, because this guy loves it. He laps it up. And if you're trying to win him over, I'm not telling you not to be yourself, but if you have that going for you, let it shine, let it come out. He also likes women that respect themselves and are strong, which is great. So if you have those traits, which I hope that you do, this man will definitely go for that. He loves a woman that's independent, but on the other hand, he can get pretty jealous and possessive. So don't let that happen if you can. You know, this guy can get really jealous and possessive, especially when he's in a relationship, because like I told you, he gets very vulnerable in relationships. So when he's being jealous and possessive, it's one thing, but if you start to act jealous and possessive, it's like he hates it. He can't stand it. This man loves freedom. He loves, you know, like I said, adventure, excitement, which if you want to be with him, you should definitely love too. But, you know, he hates when you're jealous and possessive of him. He hates when you try to control what he's doing. So just, you know, give him his space and don't try to rein him in more than needs to be. I mean, he likes to think that he has the freedom to do what he wants, and that's not always going to happen. But definitely don't try to control this guy. Let him be his free spirit type. Let him live his life the way he wants to live it. And hopefully, he'll do the same for you, and you'll make him do the same for you. So don't let his jealous, possessive ways take over, and don't act that way for him. Because it is a big turnoff for the Aries man. So this sign, is, like I said, one of the signs that has the most ability for change. And whether it's he accepts change very well, which he does, or he can make changes in himself, which a lot of people struggle with more than he does. So that's great. It can be a positive thing. Just make sure that he doesn't try to change you, because that can happen with the Aries man, but you want to make sure that it doesn't. So if you kind of get that idea, kind of back off, because this guy kind of does, like I said, have this ideal image of a woman, and he might try to change you to be that way. Not always, I'm just trying to show you the good and the bad here and put them together into one. And so if you want to know if an Aries man likes you, you'll know. This guy is direct about it. He'll approach you, he'll ask you out on a date, he'll flat out tell you he thinks you're hot or he likes you. That's the kind of guy that this man is for the most part. I mean, not every guy that's an Aries is going to act like this, but the majority of them will. As for matches and what makes a good love match with an Aries, the other fire signs, Leo and Sagittarius, make the best matches with an Aries for the most part. Aries and Aries don't do so well together because they kind of butt heads. Gemini, which is an air sign, also makes a good match with the Aries. The other two air signs, Libra and Aquarius, also make kind of a good match with Aries, but it's kind of the kind of match that's just like more about passion, and it might fizzle out. And this man can be very passionate and very romantic. So that's two other good things he has going for him. As far as water signs and earth signs go, they're not the best match. So this is, Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces, Virgo, Capricorn, Taurus. Sometimes it can work with the earth signs, the Taurus, Capricorn, and Virgo, but that takes compromise, and if the two of you want to do that, then that's great, but that's like a sign that's not going to just easily come together. They take compromise. And as far as the water signs, I mean, water puts fire out, so it's not normally the best match, and that's not to say that it can't work, because every person is different, obviously, but for the most part, they tend to not really work out in relationships. So that's what I have to say about the Aries man. And like I said before, this isn't all completely true or anything like that. Everybody's different, and your sun sign on the day you're born doesn't determine all these things about you exactly. So just keep that in mind, and this is just, something to think about, and it's just interesting, and it's a way that if you want to get an Aries man, this is just how, if you're looking at it from an astrological point of view, the way to go about it. So I hope you enjoyed this, and I hope you have a great day. For me.